Yes guys, what's going on? So first of all, I want to apologise for the background noise which is going to be taking place throughout this video. Some working going on, but I want to do my videos outside. So anyway, Sergey Kovalev, Andre Ward, two of the best pound for pound fighters legitly in boxing at the moment. I'm a huge fan of Sergey Kovalev, but to me, this is my opinion, I think every single fighter, if you want to be great and be known as pound for pound, right, you need to move up weight divisions first of all, okay? And I think that fighters like Sugar Ray Leonard who have done it, Roberto Duran, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, De La Hoya, you go throughout. Sugar Ray Robinson was one of the, I mean, in the days of Ray Robinson, there weren't as many weight classes as there are now, so you've got to kind of double his weight classes, if you will, because you know he didn't have them weight classes in between like we do now. So you've got to look at how much weight he's actually moved from and to. And with Ray Robinson's record, I mean, there's rumours that he's fought at a very, very lightweight, but then in his amateur career. But obviously, amateur record and it's difficult. But he started off very, very light and he finished at very, very heavy weight. Moved up and down. Ray Leonard's done it. Tommy Hearns has done it. But the thing for me is, I always rated. You see, the reason. Let me just go back to something, okay? Because we're talking about Gennady Golovkin here as well, okay? And it's it's not a hate video on Golovkin, but you've got to understand that the reason I don't rate Golovkin pound for pound, and even Sergey Kovalev pound for pound as much as someone like Saul Alvarez, is because although they're very good in their weight class, I think in boxing, throughout history, to be pound for pound, you have to be able to go through different weight classes and do it against bigger guys. The lighter guys are quicker, so your opposition level is different, right? And for me, it goes like this, right? Roberto Duran, for me, stands above and my favourite out of Sugar Ray Leonard, Duran, Hagler, and Tommy Hearns. And I actually rate Hagler and Hearns about 3-4 in that little mix. Ray Leonard number 2, but I rate Duran as number 1 because you've got to understand that for me, Roberto Duran, he went from a very low weight class where he had an unbelievable record at lightweight, so he's fought at that weight class, and then he's moved up, okay, and he's fought Ray Leonard, okay, at welter, and he beat Ray Leonard at welter. And then in the rematch he got beat and you had the situation, no mass situation. But then he went up into even higher weight classes. And the reason they call him Hands of Stone, truthfully, is because Roberto Duran, he could just go bang, bang, and knock you down, thudding shots with just, at such a high weight class he could do that. And he's had ups and downs in his career, but for me, Roberto Duran was the epitome of that era, because of this fact that he moved up several weight classes, and people tend to miss this thing out, okay, about weight classes. You can't, this like Mayweather, okay, say if Mayweather went up and fought GGG or Sergey Kovalev, okay, and he got beat but he went 12 rounds, you wouldn't diss him for that, right? Duran went up and faced Hagler and he went 12, okay, or was it 14 in them days, I forget. But look, the point is that he went the distance, didn't get knocked out in a higher weight class, and you've got to give him credit for that because he's moving up for such a low weight class. So if Hagler stays at that weight, Duran stays at his weight, right? Duran moves up and faces Hagler, and he goes the full distance. Does that and Hagler wins? Does that mean that Hagler is better than Duran? No, because Hagler's only done it at one weight class. Duran is moving up weight classes to face him. Do you see what I mean? Forgive me for the background noise once more. But so in that regard, I really do think that this Sergey Kovalev, he's the fighter fighting at his weight class, but he's a very good fighter at his weight class. Similar to GGG, he's very good in his weight class. Canelo started off, I believe he fought at 147 at some point. I need to double check that, but I'm pretty sure he did. He was fighting at 147. Excuse me, hold on. Excuse me, okay. So he's fought at 147. He's gone up to 154, won a title. He's then fought at catchweight at 155, and now he's moving up to 160. Okay, so I understand I'm not a fan of the catchweight thing, but he did win the lineal, right, 155-pound title. Now, 160 title at 155. Now, I'm not a fan of the catchweight. I don't like that, and I called Canelo out on that. I have, because if you go back at my videos, I did call Canelo out on that. Okay, and I did. But coming back to the Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward situation, Andre Ward is moving up moving up a weight class to face Sergey Kovalev. And moving up in the higher weight classes is more difficult than it is moving up from the low weight classes. Because there's not as many pounds you've got to gain, and then pounds at such low weight classes, they're a bit easier than when you're moving up to the higher weight classes, because as you move up from welterweight to super welter to middleweight, and then beyond all the way up to heavyweight, there's the jumps start to get a bit higher and it starts to get more difficult, okay? The punches get bigger, and there is a significant difference between light welterweight and welterweight, and then moving up from super welterweight to middleweight. Do you see what I mean? There's a big difference between punching power, difference between the jumps. So I think that Andre Ward is definitely still my number one, even with his inactivity and everything. I think he's just, with the current level of competition that there is out there at the moment, I think Andre Ward ranks above all of them. I mean, if you look at his record, it's stellar, it's solid. I mean, Carl Froch is a good fighter, and that fight alone, right, is a huge win for Andre Ward. Not to mention Miguel Kessler and the rest of the wins on Ward's record. And for him to move up now to face Sergey Kovalev in a higher weight class after beating Sullivan Barrera, I mean, it says a lot about Andre Ward. For me, Sergey Kovalev in his weight class is a destroyer. He is quite like Triple G, but the difference is that Sergey Kovalev, right, him sticking at his weight class, he's not getting called out by anybody in a higher weight class, okay? He's not getting called out by anybody in the above weight class. Yo, come fight me, Kovalev, I'll fight you. And he's not struggling to get fights because Ward's moving up to face him. That fight was getting built up. He's got, what's his name in his division? Adonis Stevenson, right? So he's got a stacked division, whereas Triple G hasn't got that stacked division. To me, Curtis Stevens and these guys who he's faced, I would never rated them at any point. To be honest with you, I didn't even rate his last opponent before Kell Brook. What's his name? David Lemieux. I didn't rate him too much. He had a good record, but he'd been beaten and he wasn't, you know, I didn't think he was that exceptional. I think he's a good fighter, but he's not that good. So yeah, it's just a little bit of a comparison with GGG and Kovalev. Kovalev, he's beat Bernard Hopkins, a good name on his record, old but still a good name on the record. So for me, Sergey Kovalev, he's good, but similarly with Triple G, he's stuck at the weight class and he hasn't fought the stiff competition that Andre Ward has faced. Andre Ward moving up one weight class is very different to Kell Brook moving up one weight class to face GGG, because Andre Ward has been at this weight class for a very long time that he was at, and he's really grown out of him. If you look at him when he was younger facing Carl Froch and these guys, you look at the maturity of how he looks now compared to then. In terms of just his face alone, forget the body. He's grown up as a man. He's a lot older. He's a lot more rugged now. And I think that him at that weight class, it just doesn't suit him anymore. He looked so young when he was fighting Carl Froch in these lot, and times have totally altered. And I think that as fighters get older, I think it makes sense to slowly, as your body grows, you need to move up to the higher weight classes and you become more physically mature. And I think Andre Ward is physically matured. His chin's very good. I mean, people are still talking about the knockdown of Andre Ward many, many years ago, right? By someone who could actually crack, you know? But the thing is this, right? When you're looking at Andre Ward now, he's physically mature, he's technically very sound, he's got tons of experience at the highest level, and that's why I favour him in this fight, because then he's got the amateur record as well. And not only that, Sergey Kovalev, I believe, has a draw on his record, or is it lost? No, he doesn't have a loss, he's got a draw on his record, okay? So, Sergey Kovalev can be outpointed, okay? Given that was a long time ago, okay? But you see, Sergey Kovalev has killed a guy in the ring, so he has that equalizer, which is power, okay? He has significant power, he knows how to crack, he has a very good sense of distance. I mean, the difference between a very good aggressive fighter and a very bad aggressive fighter is that the very good aggressive fighter knows when to move back when his opponent is punching back. An aggressive fighter who doesn't understand range control, but there's different ways. You can either slip or you can move back. But if you use your feet and you control range with your feet to move in and out, right, you should have a very good sense of when to move back and when to come forward. Someone like Ruslan Provodnikov doesn't have a good sense of that. So when you have someone like Ruslan Provodnikov facing anybody, right, all he does is come forward and he just crack and move, got a little bit of head movement, nothing really. Tyson on the other hand, he used to come forward very much, right, but he'd be always slipping, he'd be hitting here, he'd be ducking under, and then he'd be coming in, okay? Someone like Sergey Kovalev, he's not like that. He's an aggressive, good puncher, similar with Triple G, right? He's a very big puncher, but he knows that when his opponent is coming back at him, they don't really have too much head movement, but what they do have is good feet, right, to move back at the right time and then counter punch. You see? And this is what Sergey Kovalev has got. He's got very good hand-eye coordination, because you know that little ball thing he does from Rocky Balboa, right? The old school, moving that ball about, and he's got very good. He uses the tennis ball on the head, and you know, precision. He's very, very precise in his punches. He knows how to punch where he wants to punch, and that's what he concentrates on. And it shows in his fights. His training that he does, it really shows in his fights, because he manages to like just catch you quick on the punch that matters. Okay, the punch that matters, the quick one, bang, he'll crack you, and he's got more than enough power to damage you. And he's not a huge puncher like Triple G, but Sergey Kovalev is someone who's very precise. And I keep comparing back to Triple G because Sergey Kovalev, for me, he doesn't have a similar fighting style to Gennady Golovkin in a sense, but there are similarities there. And with this whole staying in the same weight class thing, it's there, okay? So, Sergey Kovalev, for me, he is very good, okay? I really like him as a fighter. He's facing Andre Ward, so he's not ducking the big name. He needs a big fight, so obviously he's going to take Ward. Ward is moving up to him, so Ward's going to have the, let's say, slightly shaky chin in this weight class, right? Because he's not going to be fully accustomed to the weight class yet, even though he has been here for a little while and he's matured. He's still not his ideal weight class, what he's been at for a very long time. On the other hand, what does Andre Ward have? Andre Ward, gold medalist, not lost since he was 12 years old. Legit amateur record, okay? A very good amateur, and you know there's a big difference between having an exceptional amateur record abroad and then having a very good amateur record in the US and then facing people on the international level continuously, okay? And Andre Ward has definitely done that. Andre Ward is proven, he's got experience, his skill set is just unbelievable. See, Kovalev's going to come into this fight trying to really break Andre Ward down, damage him, punch him on the shoulders. He's gonna try to jab the chest a lot, try to slow Andre Ward down because he knows he's never gonna land them clean punches on Ward. So he's gonna have to try to use his power, use his position, uses a very good range control. But you see, Andre Ward is not that. He's not that typical fighter, and the thing with Ward is he's not actually an outside fighter. Andre Ward is actually an inside fighter. He can box on the outside, but for me, I think on the outside Kovalev will hold his own. But I think where surprisingly where Kovalev's going to struggle is when Andre Ward, right, he'll be here and he'll be ducking. Andre Ward ducks. He ducks like here, down here, right. And then what he'll do, he'll jab you, and he'll use his shoulder, right, to tuck up against his chin. And then what he'll do, he'll jump in on the inside, right. And he'll just get that sneaky little bang, crack punch in you, or he'll just get a nice little jab on you, and then he'll get the jab at your body, and then sometimes what he'll do is to come in at you, he'll jab at your body, he'll come straight to the head, and then he's not shy to exchange on the inside, but he's very cautious of what he's doing. I mean, if he'll go from here to right, now, and I've seen him do this right against Chad Dawson, a jab to the body from the orthodox stance, right, and then he threw a right cross, right, and he's automatically turned southpaw now, okay? And this is the thing, Andre Ward also fights southpaw, and it's becoming a new modern day thing, right, in 2016 to be able to switch both stances, because it wasn't as much of a big thing in the olden days, in any era, as much as it is now. People were either orthodox or they were southpaw. You had a few switches, but nowadays it's becoming very, very common, right? Because it's the same with any sport, like sports advanced, right? And you've got they get higher and higher levels, right? In terms of skill-wise, I don't know. Is boxing as skillful as it was? Not really. There's only a few fighters, right? But the ones that there are who are very skillful are unbelievably skillful, and I think Andre Ward is the pinnacle #1 fighter who's active at the moment. But with Andre Ward, right, Kovalev's going to have all sorts of problems because the fighters he's faced, right, can't go from an orthodox stance to a southpaw stance and then crack you here and here. Kell Brook showed against Triple G that he can land the punches, but the problem was with Kell Brook, he was moving up 2 weight classes against a big puncher, but then he didn't even get knocked out. So, look, I think footwork's going to be key for Andre Ward, as it is with everything in boxing. Any fight, footwork is key. But the problem is, Kovalev also has very good feet. He's not slow on his feet, he moves in and out really well. Andre Ward, he's really bang, bang, okay? He can crack you and then he'll be on the inside. And I think Andre Ward on the inside will boss this fight. I think Andre Ward on the outside will just be able to edge it a little bit. I think he's going to be very strong on the inside, very wiry, be able to grapple Kovalev, and he'll be able to handle his own. I think Kovalev's going to be a bit nervous in this fight. I don't think he's going to be as confident as Andre Ward in this fight. I mean, if you're looking at the pre-fight and everything, we can see that Kovalev gives a lot of respect to Andre Ward. And I think that, and I try to take the high part of fights, but I think that in this battle, you're going to be seeing the psychological games which Andre Ward is playing. He is a king of psychological warfare. I mean, he might not talk too much, but he'll look you in the eye. He'll let you know he's here, and he's a very intellectual person. He's very articulate. He knows how to use his vocabulary very well, and he makes people feel inferior to him. And I do think that Kovalev feels inferior to Andre Ward at this moment in terms of, because he can't speak proper English. It's not his home country. Andre Ward's the home country fighter. So, and you know, all the press and everything, Andre Ward's the name. Everything, right, is on Andre Ward's side. Kovalev is a very good fighter. Don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of Kovalev, right? But I just think in this fight, everything is pointing towards Andre Ward. I can't see Kovalev winning in any sense. I can't see him outpointing Ward. I think he has got a chance in terms of knocking Ward out, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that. I think that if Andre Ward gets hurt, I think he is smart enough to recover. But the issue where everybody has is Andre Ward's been out for so long. He hasn't had many fights. He's not looking as good as he once did in terms of his speed and everything. But I think that in boxing, you adjust your style to the age you are. You can't move as you once did, but if you've got enough skill set, you're quite active, you're fit, and nowadays, I don't think it plays as much of a difference as it used to. I mean, back in the days of Ali and Fraser, when Ali took so much time out, sorry about that noise, it's really, really annoying me, but look, right, with back in the day with Ali coming back to face Joe Frazier, the issue was in them days that you didn't have the strength conditioning which you have now. You used to do traditional exercises, and that was about it. With Andre Ward, he's really got himself trimmed out, you know, six-packs out, and he's lean, he's in shape, he doesn't abuse his body, he doesn't drink alcohol, he doesn't, and I don't think like Muhammad Ali was that strict, to be honest. I don't think he was as committed to the sport of boxing as much as someone like Andre Ward is. Andre Ward really lives the lifestyle. Ali was sort of fighter, he had other things on his mind outside the ring. So I don't think like ring rust is going to be, it's not ring rust as much, it's more like has the fighter slowed down and has, you know, are they the same fighter that they once were. But look, leave your comment section below, subscribe as always. Andre Ward for me is going to do this fight. I think he's going to edge it on points. I think Kovalev's going to get hit with punches that he's going to be very surprised that he's getting caught with. I think he will be able to control distance well, and he will catch Ward here and there, but it's going to be interesting to see if Andre Ward holds a shot. For me, I don't know, the thing is with me, like with Andre Ward, I can't see him losing, not just because he hasn't lost since he's 12 years old, but because he is a winner, and Andre Ward has unbelievable skill. Like the things he does in there is so difficult, but he does it like it's easy, you know, and he's not just an outside fighter, he's a very good inside fighter. And I think that on the quarters where the fight gets close, I think Andre Ward, right, is going to know what to do when they're like grappling inside, and I don't think Kovalev's going to be as good on the inside. I think Kovalev's strength is going to be to try and catch Andre Ward coming in, and there is that risk because Andre Ward does like to come in, but I mean, I don't know, I just can't see how Kovalev will win this fight. I mean, he has to knock Andre Ward out, and to knock Andre Ward out, it's a huge ask. Leave a comment section below, subscribe as always, let me know what you guys think. Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward. Who thinks will win this fight? I've got Ward. I just think he's brilliant. I think he's so good. I think when he jabs, the way he'll be here and he'll jab you, but he'll tuck his shoulder just above his chin so he doesn't get caught on his chin. His head's down, he fights low. When he comes in low, so he's coming in with his head, and then he'll come back up, bang, crack you on the face with whatever shot he wants to land. He's not shy to hook, and if he does hook, he's always fundamentally sound with his glove high enough to really crack you here, and he covers himself up. Obviously, it doesn't come up like that, leave his chin up. He'll crack you like that, and he'll stay. Otherwise, he'll stay low, and then when he's fighting tall, he'll be out of range. So unbelievable. But you know, Sergey Kovalev's no joke. He's a very good fighter, and I like both fighters, but I'm picking Ward. Comment section below, subscribe as always. Let me know who you think's gonna win this fight. In a bit, guys.